Look at that color. Let's just focus on the color. The color is amazing. Oh, amazing. Hello, everyone. I am going to do a quick ink swab test today of a few magentas. It's been something I have been working on, trying to find the perfect magenta for me, and I've tried several. I still don't have necessarily the answer, but I have a couple I thought I would swatch, and thought I would share that swatching with you. I wish I had seen some of these side by side. I spent a lot of time looking at reviews online and different videos and information at Reddit and in Facebook groups, and I had tried Diamine Deep Magenta, and I really liked it. And then I also had tried Pilot Iroshizuku Yama-Budo, and I really like it, but it's a little darker. And I had hopes for Noodler's Cactus Fruit Eel, and so I sampled a number of different things, and I thought I would swatch a couple today, especially the Noodler's Cactus Fruit Eel. And although it's not going to be anywhere near the intensity or brightness of the magenta, the Black Swan in Australian Roses, and then for sure Yama-Budo, and then maybe some of these others. I've got some others here: R&K Document Magenta, J. Urban Rose Cyclamen, and I have used these mostly with dip pen recently to try them. This is actually a combination. This is Syrah, but I had some Yama-Budo to get rid of, so this is a mixture of Syrah and Yama-Budo. Atramentis Elderberries, which fits in with the Syrah range in terms of color, and then the Deep Magenta. And then I also have Monteverde Gratitude. Some of these are very similar, and there's definitely a range here. So I have not done swatch cards before, and I thought I would try a few. And I'm just going to do these my own way, not super formal. I'm also going to have my cup of coffee for the afternoon. I won't warn you about Noodlers. If you know Noodler's ink, you already know they're very full. This is a new bottle, and it was indeed very full. So what I think I'm going to do is take a Q-tip, swab a little bit on the top, and then write the name. And I think I might write the name with dip pen just as an easy way to clean it. I may or may not like how that works and looks, so we'll see. I've got Black Swan in this. I have Cactus Fruit Eel in this. I have Yama-Budo in this. And I think that I have Deep Magenta in this, but I can't swear to it. So we'll start with just this, and you can see how full this is. And it's pretty much known for that. A lot of people spill their ink when they get it. I've filled a pen out of this, and you can still see, if the camera is getting that, you can still see how incredibly full it is. I have also seen a lot of discussion about Noodler's ink recently, and I know not everyone likes Noodler's ink, and that's okay. I was trying for a color here, so we'll see. This is supposed to be a lubricated ink, this Eel series. In my pen so far, I will say it has struck me as super dry, and that I didn't count on. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go over the top, just another swipe or two, just so I have a record of sort of how it goes. I hate to waste all that ink. I'm gonna set that aside because I'm gonna use the other end of it for the other ink. So, and this is a brand new Zebra G nib, and I have cleaned this one with alcohol. I have been experimenting with dip pen, and I was burning my nibs, just applying a little bit of flame, and I actually like that approach, but I got some feedback that maybe I should try alcohol. The verdict's still out for me. I have found it harder to get them to prime them. So I've dipped this in, and just gonna write, and this is, ooh, ton of feathering. That may be the problem with writing on this kind of card, doing my swatches. That's really noticeable feathering. All right, well, Cactus, fruit. Okay, so these cards won't work. Look at that. Ugh. I am using the inks in my Moleskine illustrated journal, and that is an art journal specifically. Paper on that is better than the Moleskine you might be used to, and have not had a problem. Not had this problem, this kind of feathering. I wouldn't use an ink that feathers quite this badly. So this is 3 passes. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we go with really thin lines, how bad the feather is. Not quite as noticeable. All right, so that's Noodlers. And I'm going to clean my nib off and then swatch the next one. Okay, so we've got the Noodlers, Cactus Fruit Eel, and really bad feathering. So I thought maybe these would work. This is really, really thick quality index card, but it's probably not coated in any way. So it's probably a good indication of what might happen on regular paper, but definitely not what I want for swatch cards. But I want to go ahead and do these. I want to at least see how the colors, how they block out. I've been using this in my illustrated journal today, experimenting with it, and have not had this feathering, so that does surprise me. I wasn't using the dip pen though. Let's just see on this card what happens with the regular pen. Let's just try this. So this may be that dip pen is not the way for me to do this. Yeah, this looks a lot better, and there's no feathering with that. So that may be a function of this Zebra G nib with this paper. That's very interesting and disheartening. But look at that color. Let's just focus on the color. That color is amazing. Oh, amazing. So I was going to do the Black Swan next, but let's just compare it to the Yama-Budo directly, because if you've seen it, I did another video where I loaded this with Yama-Budo, and in the barrel it looks exactly like that. So let's see how it swatches out. My Moleskine is not white, the paper. It's a neutral. It's not quite cream. I guess it's more cream than white. It's an ivory maybe. And I think that probably, I've used quite a bit of this Yama-Budo. I think that probably has a lot to do with how these colors look. Now you can see there's a huge difference just on the nib, on the Q-tip. But no, you can tell the difference going down. It's beautiful though. Oh, I love these colors. I love all these colors. And see, the thing is, I don't want just one because I like to use a whole bunch of different colors in my pages. So I'm just going to go double about halfway. And that's gorgeous. Really gorgeous. I'll try dipping it, but I think it may feather the same way. I think this is clean. I cleaned it with alcohol. These cards don't look like they're going to do very good for ink. This is feathering too, so. You might say, well, wow, why would she continue to do the video? Partly because I really want to see how these compare in terms of color. I'm okay with the fact that they may actually not work out well this way for the lettering on the card. My illustrated journal is not on an index card. Big surprise. It's in a journal. I spent so much time trying to figure these all out, and I wish I could have seen samples that really showed me side by side the ones I wanted to see. So I'm hoping that this will be useful to somebody else too who's looking for some nice grape magenta colors. Cross between violet and grape, I guess. Actually, this looks like it feathers quite a bit, and it doesn't feather at all in real use. So I'm going to chalk the feathering up to the card. not to the ink. So I'm going to wet this first. And I'm going to set it aside to clean it. I'll clean it in just a second. And I'm going to go ahead with this. Just going to go ahead, since I know this is Yama-Budo, with a pen. So if I had all my inks loaded up in pens, I could just do this and skip the dip pen. I only thought I might use dip pen because I see a lot of people say that's how they do their swatch cards. But I don't think that's going to work for me. So let's close this up. It's so beautiful. I've come to love this color so much. Now, already, they're similar, right? And they go together. Oh, so nice. You can use both of them side by side, and it's gorgeous. But there's a huge difference between them. All right. All right, let me clean it, and we're going to do another one. For number 3, I think I will go ahead and do the Black Swan in Australian Roses. I was not even, this one wasn't on my radar at all, and suddenly it became on my radar, and I couldn't quite get it out of my head because so many people say, oh, it's my favorite ink in the world. And so, again, very full, brand new Noodler's bottle. So I'll set it down. And it's much darker. I knew it wasn't going to be quite this bright. Thought it might be like this. I think it might be closer to Syrah. So let's just take a look. I've never done this before, and it's actually pretty fun. Pretty fun to do this. I don't paint with my ink, so never dipped into my ink with anything that would have this kind of coverage. I see some people say this ink is wet and some people say it is dry, and I just don't know what will happen with my pen, really. I was so surprised by how dry the cactus fruit eel seems that I'm really a little bit discouraged. Although I'm loving the color, I'm discouraged at the dryness. So just at a glance, you can tell we've got a range here, a beautiful range, but so very different. I'm going to skip the dip pen this time. I know this is already loaded. I loaded it today in this Joy. It's a Lamy Joy with an EF nib on it. So let's just do this. So this is Noodler's, Black Swan, and Australian Roses. There is another one, an English Roses, which is a redder, bricker color, I believe. Also one I would try, definitely still in my color range. You might wonder why I do this, and it is because I draw with my fountain pen inks, and so I do a lot of hatching and a lot of cross hatching, and that is how you build up color. And so that's 1, 2, this is 3, 3, and this is 4. So it shows me a little bit of how they'll look as I go deeper into the gradient. Okay, so this is also really beautiful. I just love all of them. I don't need to write the name again because I wrote it this way. And there's a little feathering on this card. It's definitely a function of the card. So since I don't have the other ones inked, they're not in these pens, although maybe that one is there. I still think I want to go ahead and at least put, I think I'll skip the sample ones right now, but I think I'll go ahead and show Syrah and maybe this, because I think this is very similar. The one that's most like this is the Deep Magenta, and I probably should show you that as well. So I'm just going to swatch them, though. I'm not going to do the pen part. I just want to show the colors. So I've got some Deep Magenta here. Just get a little bit on the... Careful I don't spill that. So I'll have to try to remember what I've done here. I see it's so similar. So pretty. So pretty. Okay, so Deep Magenta. And I think what I'll do is just make a note. Just going to real lightly write Deep Magenta so that I remember what I've swatched there. And then let's pull this one. This is Diamine Inks Syrah. And I actually really like this one when I'm drawing. I've been drawing with it with dip pen though, so I don't have it inked in a pen, I don't think. And this is definitely going to be similar to the Australian roses, I think. On this white card, it's less dark purple than I typically think of this ink as. Very interesting to see. So I'm just going to make a note for myself. This is Syrah. Okay, and then I do want to look at the Gratitude. Which one would you pick? I don't want to have to pick. That's partly my problem. So this Gratitude, I think, is similar to Yama-Budo. Now see, when I used it, I never had the sense that it was quite this grape. But look, it is like almost the dead ringer for Yama-Budo. Actually, if you had just given me that, I probably would have told you I wrote it with the Yama-Budo. Look how similar that is. Very similar. So this is so many pens and pencils laying around. This is the Gratitude. Once I get them in pens at some point, I'll go ahead and finish these swatch cards. But this will let you and me see them side by side. So what else do I have here that I could show you? That's the combination one. That's the Elderberries. I might as well go ahead and do that one. I won't do that one again probably because I don't have any other colors that are dark like this. So this is Atramentis Elderberries, which I had not heard of. Can't ever tell if I'm actually in my phone camera's view or not. Basically, I'm trying to show you the things I wish I had been able to see at different times. Okay, they're just gorgeous. I just love them. I just love them. I hope you love them too. You probably like a different color range, but I like to do the same thing. I'm going to do it with red, definitely with orange and with turquoise. So this is Elderberry, which I just finished reading the Farseer trilogy, and every time I see the name Elderberry, I think of that. These are actually kind of similar. If we had to put these together, sort of group them, we would have this set over here. Right. Actually, the Syrah has more red in it than any of them, which surprises me. I think of it as very purple when I use it. So on my cream ivory paper, these do come out differently. So the other one that's worth showing right now would be the J. Urban Rose Cyclamen, and it's going to be down here in this much lighter range, but it's also very similar to these. So it was interesting when I started looking for magenta how many I found that all seemed to be the same, and that just made it a little bit difficult to figure out what I really wanted. So this is almost the most vibrant and of all of them, really. Feels a little dry going on. Definitely these cards, I think, are accentuating the dryness. Pretty! Now, let's see. Very similar. It's more intense than any of them. Look at that. So as they dry, I wonder if they're going to darken up. So this is the Cyclamen. So there you have it. Bunch of magentas. I'll put the color names down in the description, especially since I didn't write them on all of these. But as you consider colors, there's so much similarity between some of these that sometimes it comes down to brand. And as I was saying, I've seen a lot of people talking some smack about Noodlers, and I am disappointed at how dry these are, but I had just bought these when I started seeing everyone talk so negatively. I'm not new to ink, but I don't buy ink or bottles very often. This surprises me how vivid this is. It's like eye shocker vivid. It's probably close to what I was thinking. I don't know which one I like best. I just like them all. This is really pretty on this card. I don't think that I ever have had it. I think it comes out very dark on my paper. So that's it. Bunch of magentas. I hope that if you're looking for a magenta, this was helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know what colors you love and what colors of magenta you love. If you have a favorite magenta, or what color ranges you are like me and you're like, you want them all. So I want like all of these like greeny teal mint colors and reds and oranges and then these magentas. But right now, magentas and teals all over that. Happy writing.